Have you ever heard something, maybe a quote, a line from a video, or something random someone said, and at the time, it didn't make any sense, but months later, it just hits you? That kind of delayed, oh, now I get it moment? Yeah, that's what this is like. So if this video or message feels confusing right now, don't worry. You're not falling behind, you're not broken, you're just not at that part of your journey yet, and that's perfectly okay. But if something about this hits home, if something deep inside you is nodding like, yeah, this is speaking to me, then maybe this is your sign. Maybe things are finally starting to make sense. I remember this guy I used to know. He was super quiet, one of those people who never really spoke much, especially in big groups. But you could always tell his mind was running deep. He told me something once that stuck with me. He said, I used to listen to stuff like this and think it was all nonsense. The whole, you're not lost, you're remembering kind of talk. But now it's the only thing that actually makes sense. So I asked him, what changed? And he said, life happened. The mask cracked. And man, I felt that. Sometimes you don't really understand certain things until life knocks you around a little, until things fall apart, until pretending becomes too exhausting, until you've tried everything, running, numbing, fixing, and nothing really works. That's when it hits. That moment doesn't come like a big movie scene either. It's not some dramatic, emotional breakthrough. It's usually something quiet, like brushing your teeth on a random Tuesday morning, looking at yourself in the mirror half asleep and suddenly thinking, I can't keep being this version of me anymore. No one teaches us to listen to that voice. Most of the world teaches you how to shut it down. Be strong. Push through. Smile. Say you're okay. Don't make a scene. But the fact that you're even here right now, watching, listening, that tells me you're tired of all that noise. You're not trying to hold it all together anymore. You're starting to let go. You didn't come looking for this message, it just showed up. But sometimes that's how truth works. It finds you when you're finally open enough to hear it. If any part of this is landing with you, then maybe you're ready. Not ready to fix everything or have it all figured out, but ready to admit something has to shift. That shift starts with being real with yourself. Here's something strange I've noticed. The harder you chase clarity, the more it runs from you. You try to plan it all out. What you want, who you should be, what you're supposed to do next, and it just makes you feel more lost. You don't get clarity by overthinking. You get it by being honest. And that's hard, because being honest means admitting you're confused, that you don't know what the hell you're doing, that you feel stuck or sad or tired of pretending. Most of us don't want to sit with that kind of truth, so we fill the silence with noise. Podcasts, scrolling, caffeine, busy schedules, anything to keep us from really feeling. But underneath all that noise, that's where you live. Not the version you perform, but the real you, the one you've been avoiding. You ever meet someone who seems like they've got it all together? Clean apartment, nice job. Maybe they even go to the gym regularly, but something's off. Like under the surface, they're exhausted. Not from life being hard, but from trying too hard to keep the illusion going. That version of them, the polished, perfect one, that's not really them. That's the survival version, the performer, the one who never pauses to ask, do I even want this life I'm holding together? And when you finally ask yourself that question, everything changes. Not in a dramatic way. There's no big answer. There's just quiet. And silence is scary, so we avoid it. We fill it with goals, plans, more noise. But that quiet space, that's where you find your truth. That's where healing begins. Not when you master some perfect morning routine, not when you complete some life-changing course, but when you're standing in your kitchen, staring at the wall, thinking, I've been pretending to be someone I'm not for so long. I forgot how to just be. If you're feeling like that right now, lost, numb, overwhelmed, don't run. That feeling isn't wrong. It's not proof that you're broken. It's proof that you're finally waking up. You're feeling things again. You're noticing things that used to be easy to ignore. And yeah, it's scary, especially when emotions come rushing in like a wave. But that wave isn't here to drown you. It's here to show you you're still alive. You're not broken. You're just not numb anymore. It feels intense because all the stuff you pushed down is finally coming up. It feels confusing because the mask is starting to slip. But don't panic. That's healing. It's not some polished, pretty process. It's messy. It's raw. It shows up when you least expect it. Like late at night, sitting in the dark, whispering, I can't live like this anymore. That's the real turning point. Not something you post about, not something you announce. You just stop pretending. You stop going to places that drain you. You stop answering calls from people who only take and never give. You stop saying, "I'm fine," when you're not. And yeah, people might notice. They might say, "You've changed," and they're right. You have. You're not colder. You're just done burning yourself out to make others feel warm. And here's the wild part. The moment you stop pretending, you start to notice how many people still are. You see it in their eyes, the fake smiles, the endless distractions, and for the first time, you stop envying them. Because you've tasted something real now. You've felt the peace that comes when you finally come home to yourself. Coming home to yourself doesn't look like fireworks or dramatic transformations. It looks like finally breathing deeply, like choosing quiet over chaos, like saying no without guilt, like walking away from things that used to own you and not feeling the need to explain why. It's not some big identity shift that happens overnight. It's small, subtle, like deleting a number from your phone and not feeling anxious about it, like waking up and not needing to check your phone right away, like sitting with yourself and not trying to escape it. And it's weird at first because you've been trained to believe peace comes from fixing, doing, achieving, but then one day you sit still and something clicks. You realize you don't need to earn your own love. You've just been too distracted to feel it. That's when the healing deepens. When you stop chasing versions of yourself you thought the world would approve of. When you stop treating your life like a project that needs to be perfect. You're not a project, you're a person. And people are messy, complicated, beautiful in ways that don't always make sense on paper. The moment you let go of needing everything to be clean and explained, you start to actually live. You cry when you need to. You laugh without forcing it. You rest, not because you earned it, but because you exist. And that's reason enough. You begin to realize something big. That version of you who always had to be on, who always had to be productive, always chasing, wasn't really you. It was the mask, the one you wore to survive, to be accepted, to feel worthy. But that mask is heavy. It hides the parts of you that actually make you human. The soft parts, the scared parts, the deep, quiet, intuitive parts. And when the mask starts to fall away, those parts come alive again. It can be disorienting. You might feel more emotional than usual, more sensitive, more tired. You might find yourself pulling away from certain people, certain routines, certain environments. Don't fight that. You're not falling apart. You're realigning, and when you realign, you naturally outgrow certain things. It's not because you're better than anyone. It's because you're no longer willing to shrink just to fit back into a life that doesn't fit you. You start to crave peace more than performance, presence more than productivity, truth more than being liked. And that's when the real shift happens. You stop trying to become someone, and you start remembering who you've always been. And yeah, it hurts a little at first, because it means letting go of the stories you've told yourself. The stories like, "I'm only worthy if I'm useful," or "I'm only lovable if I'm easy to be around," or "I have to hide the heavy stuff because it'll make people leave." But those stories were built in survival mode, and you're not in survival anymore. You're healing now, and healing doesn't mean everything gets fixed. It means you learn how to be with yourself, especially when things don't feel okay. It means you stop abandoning yourself just because you're struggling. You learn to sit with the mess and say, "I'm not leaving." You become the person you always needed, your own anchor, your own safe space. And once you've felt that, no fake connection, no temporary distraction, no surface level comfort will ever feel good again. Because now you know what real peace tastes like. Now you know what it feels like to finally rest, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. You know what it feels like to breathe and not brace for impact, to walk through your day without feeling like you're wearing armor. That's not weakness, that's strength, real strength. The kind of strength that doesn't need to shout, prove, or perform. The kind of strength that comes from deep inner softness. The kind that comes from letting your walls down, not for everyone, but for yourself. So you can finally see who you are without the mask. And you'll still have hard days. You'll still question yourself sometimes. But the difference now? You'll know how to return to yourself. You'll have tools, awareness, language for your pain, space for your emotions. You'll stop making pain the enemy. You'll stop trying to outrun the hard parts. Because now you understand, the hard parts are invitations. They're not proof that you're broken. They're signals. They're saying, hey, there's still something here that needs your attention. Something you're ready to face now. So instead of numbing, distracting, or judging yourself, you'll meet those parts with curiosity, with compassion, with patience. And that changes everything. Because when you stop treating your pain like a problem, you finally hear what it's been trying to tell you, that you're human, that it's okay to feel deeply, that your softness is not a weakness, it's a superpower, that being too much just means you've got a lot to give, that being tired doesn't mean you're failing, it means you've been carrying too much for too long without rest. So rest, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Let yourself lay it all down for a moment. Let yourself stop striving, stop fixing, stop reaching. Let yourself be right here, right now, because this moment, this breath, is the beginning of everything. You don't need to go back to the old version of yourself. You don't need to chase some perfect future. You just need to return to you. And if you're here, if you've made it this far, then maybe some part of you already has. Welcome home. If this spoke to you, if even one part of it made you feel a little more seen, a little less alone, then this is just the beginning. I make videos like this for people who are tired of pretending, tired of surface-level advice, and ready to come home to themselves. So if you're done with the noise and craving something real, hit that subscribe button. Not for the algorithm, not for the numbers, but for you. Because this won't be the last time you feel understood here. Welcome to the space where truth lives.